take anything from this video other than one thing, I would love for it to be that start where you are, let that be your joy, build on that, and know that later on you'll be able to expand into something more complex. I'm headed out to the river, and I thought I would record Fail Tales. This is a tag by Benta, the Norse witch. And it's really about the things that we're just not good at as witches. I mean, because we're always talking about like, hey, do this or do that. And I think it's a great idea to talk about the things that we're not good at, because I don't think we're supposed to be good at everything. I think life would be really boring if we were good at everything, mainly because there would just be no diversity among us. Before we get going, down below, why don't you put in the comments something that you're magically not good at, and then something that you feel like you're really magically really good at, like something that you're adept at, or that you have a lot of natural ability. If you don't know me, I'm Hexa. This is Natural Witchery. I'm out in the woods that are adjacent to my home, our farm in Oregon. We live on a Fail Tale number 1. While I am really great at tarot and oracle, pictures, signs and symbols, I really have this ability to read them and see them and understand them. When it comes to dream interpretation, wow, what a fail. Like, I am so kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like face value. I'll be like, oh, I was falling down this thing. I'm gonna fall. I mean, I'm not good at this. I have friends who are really, really good at dream interpretation. Let me know down below if this is something that you excel at. It is not me. It is something I would love to get better at. And I learn from my friends. I a lot of times have dreams that come to pass. I'll have an inkling of what that is going to be, it's going to feel like. I won't know. Whoops. Ooh, I'm snagged on a bramble. Woo. I won't know when it's going to happen until it's actually happening. And I go, oh, this is that thing I dreamed about. Fail tale number 2. I am not good at daily practice. Like, I see these people, or at least I imagine people. I don't really know anybody that does this, but I know there's some of you out there that are just really regimented. You're really good at these same daily practices. And as a neurospicy witch, I just am not. I find I get bored and it just doesn't work for me. My practice tends to be very seasonal. So the things that I do daily, other than getting up in the morning and thanking water and drinking 32 ounces, other than that, it's gonna change. It's gonna shift with the season. It's really gonna reflect what's going on with me and the land. You know, it's gonna be in the winter, it's gonna be tarot cards by the fire. In the summer, I'm probably gonna be out sitting on my porch with my feet on the ground, really, you know, soaking up the earth energy in the morning. In like the late fall, when it starts to get really rainy, or the late spring when it's super rainy but warm enough, I'll just be bundled up on the porch and listening to a teaching or listening to a guided meditation. It's just gonna shift for me. I'm not a get up and do the same thing. And I admire those of you who are really regimented and that this makes sense and works for you. I just get too bored and I feel like I'm out of flow because I feel like I'm forcing myself to do something. My next fail tale, I'm not a ceremonial magic person. Because I know plenty of you that ceremonial magic just floats your boat. It's so perfect for who you are. It feels right on, but it just doesn't for me. I don't do well with too many rules. I'm kind of a rebel. And so while I want to be mindful of universal laws when I'm doing something big, ceremonial magics, big, you know, people that are, you know, doing all this Solomonic magic, I really admire you. I just don't have that kind of connection with magic. My magic is really organic and it has to normally happen outside, which brings me to my next fail tale. I have a tendency not to do rituals or cast spells if they are going to take place inside. I just don't like it. I prefer to be outside like I am right now, in the yard, just really in nature and meeting the elements that way and pulling on the elements for my magic and really maximizing my connection to the Awen through being out in nature. And what that means for me is that a lot of times in the winter, my magical practice kind of switches to different types of magic, like a lot of magical crafting. And when it starts to get really cold or impossible to get outside, I'm going to be working on grimoires. I'm going to be doing all sorts of crafts. I'm going to be painting. I'm going to be maybe doing herbal projects with all the stuff that I've collected throughout the year. And my magic, which is not necessarily spell work, by the way, my magic tends to just flow out of my availability to the elements. And so I find in the winter, I'm going to be much more cerebral or much more earth-based. And so I'm going to be doing things that involve nestling in. Long-term spells. I'm so neurospicy. Please let me know, neurospicy witches out there, who are you? Man, I forget things. I really forget things. So for instance, if I make a coffee date with you, the second I make that coffee date, I'm going to open up my phone and I'm going to put an alarm for the morning of to remind me that morning that I have a coffee date with you, an alarm to get ready for you, and an alarm for when I need to leave. Yeah, because if I don't, I'm going to forget. And so I just don't do well with really long-term, intense spells. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite this corner right here is totally my favorite. I love the way these trees arch over the path here. It's such a magical liminal space to go through this area. It gets kind of dark under here. It's like a little fey portal right here. I just love this part of the walk. So my long-term spell workings are going to be probably calendared for me to remember to even do it. And I'm going to do things loosely. You know, I'm pretty good with the moons, so I'm going to use the moons. I'm going to use okay, I'm starting a spell and I'm going to do it on the new moon. Then I'm going to check in on the quarter moon and I'm going to do it around the full moon and then the other quarter moon, right? I'm going to check in with those different timings and I'm going to use natural timings to jog my memory. And my spells are pretty much going to revolve around things that I feel really connected to. And so, you know, we talk about these as like fail tales, but they're not really fail tales, are they? Because we are all so very unique and we are people that are designed to do things differently. And that's what makes the world a beautiful place, is each one of us figuring out how we connect with the magic of this place. And I'm not saying that we can't grow and, you know, get better at what we do or take on things that we're not good at. But I think starting where we are, starting with what we do well or what we have a natural inclination for, even if we don't do it well, but we have a natural inclination or affinity for, starting with those things and getting good at them allows us to build confidence in our magical path and then build on that so that we then can expand out into things that call us to be more. We don't decide to be an adult and we're suddenly an adult. We start out small with a small frame that we're born with and we build those muscles and we learn skills and we grow, and it's the same way with our magical practice. Last one is silent meditation. Oh my goodness. I know that this is the whole like monkey mind thing that people talk about. Oh, that's just your monkey mind. I can journey for very long periods of time. Got a drum on, boom, 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 boom. I'm on it. I'm there for very long periods of time. put me on a guided meditation, I can go. Walking meditation, it's fine. I need something going on to occupy part of my brain, being neurospicy, to occupy part of my brain so that I can focus on the meditation. Here's Hagrid. He doesn't swim, he just cools himself. He loves it. He just cools his belly. And Strider, he likes to run and play in the water, but it's a little swift right there. Normally we don't go down right here. This is definitely something I would like to get better at, and I have gone through phases where I'm doing more silent meditation. If you made it this far, leave me some green leaves down below, and again, leave me a comment. So if you haven't already shared something that you're not so good at and something that you have a natural affinity for, please do so down below. And then I would love to hear something that you would like to get better at. And I think the number one thing that I would like to get better at is regular practices. Regular practice in the morning first thing. I would love it. Like, I do some regular things, but I would really like to be one of those serious type priestess sisters who's up and immediately spends that time at the altar. Like, they're just dying to spend time with their deities at the altar. So that's something I'd like to grow and expand into. And, you know, if you don't take anything from this video other than one thing, I would love for it to be that start where you are, let that be your joy, build on that, and know that later on you'll be able to expand into something more complex. But right now, just be where you're at and enjoy that and really love who you are. Be clear, this is not a lap dog. He may appear to be like one of those cute, prissy little lap dogs, but he is not. He is a filthy, grubby farm dog.